Hello gentlemen and ladies, Giga Chats and bad bitches, Sigma males and independent women of the internet. Today I'll be answering a lifelong question of which game is shittier, Counter-Strike 2 or Valorant 1. It's a question that has been asked for thousands, millions, or even probably billions of years. It's the same fucking question that wiped out the dinosaurs, so you know it's serious. Also, it's the same question that God gave to Adam when he stole the fucking apple. If I remember the conversation correctly, it was something like, "What the fuck, bro? Get the fuck out of my house. And don't come back until you know which game is shittier." I might be missing a little bit of context because it's been a while, but that is the gist of it. Now, if you don't know who I am, then I do not fucking blame you. Like, who the fuck does? I mean, literally, who the fuck does? But as your Lord and Savior, I can assure you that I have the right qualifications to give you the correct and only answer to this question, since I have been playing both games for millions of years by now. But to simplify things for your mortal brains, I'll be splitting the comparing process into a few different categories, which I cannot be bothered to mention right now. So you have to stick through the video to find out. Firstly, I'll be talking about the ranking system. Now, Valorant ranking system is basically after you reach level 20, you play 5 ranked games and you get a rank based on your performance. Now, every rank have a scaling system from 0 to 100 RR, which I believe stands for RR. If you lose a game while at 0, you derank, and if you reach 100, you rank up. Simple, right?
Wrong.
I'm gonna tell you what is the problem with Valorant ranking system. The problem with Valorant ranking system is it assumes that the player base knows how to count to 100, which if you ever played Valorant or know the community, you know that they don't.
Oh my god, you need a heal, come here!
Now, Counter-Strike ranking system is basically you download the game, you play the game, you never get the fucking ranking system because you have to pay for this shit. So if there is no ranking system, no numbers, no confusion, then it is a lot better. You don't have to use your brain, which believe me, nobody in the community ever fucking does. Now let's say you have inherited a large sum of money and you decided to buy the Prime status for Counter-Strike. In that case, which is the better ranking system? I would also say Counter-Strike is still the better ranking system because big numbers goes brrrr. Now let's talk about the community. Now the normal Valorant player and the normal Counter-Strike player are actually not that different. Because believe it or not, normal human beings can play multiple fucking games. But the not so normal players in each game are kinda different. Let's take Counter-Strike for example. Any Counter-Strike player will tell you that every few games you get a Russian guy on your team. Now this lovely specimen of a creature will spare no effort to tell you how much he loves you in fucking Russian. And even though he completely understands English, he refused to use the language of the capitalist pigs.
I'm escaping to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space!
Now it's also known that the Valorant community is the most serious community in gaming history, and there is no words that said in-game that is not related to the fucking game. All communication in-game are meant for making strategy, giving information, and exchanging the game plan. And there is no one in this garbage game trying to make their voice sound deeper or trying to make you say random words in Japanese. Now for customizability and anti-cheat. At first, some people's simple brains will not understand why customizability and anti-cheat are related. Don't worry, I won't blame you for that, but you'll understand everything at the end. Now Counter-Strike has community servers, custom workshops, and a lot of different other stuff, ranging from surf maps, parkour, and even Valorant fucking maps. On the other hand, Valorant has no custom maps and no community servers. They even removed one of their fucking casual modes. If those were the only factors, I would say Valorant wins for making you more focused and dedicated to your ranked grind. But here when the anti-cheat factor kicks in. For you see, the fact live, the Counter-Strike anti-cheat let you play as a fucking attack helicopter, which is a big fucking W in my book. There is also the fact that Vanguard Valorant anti-cheat have access to all your files. Wait, what? Anyway, let's move on into graphics. Now for graphics, who the fuck cares about the graphics? It's all about the gameplay. Let's move on into gameplay. Now for the gameplay, who the fuck cares about the gameplay? It's all about the graphics. Look how pretty it is! Now I know everyone wants to talk about the skins, but I'm not gonna do that yet. I'll be saving the best thing for last. At the moment I'll be talking about which game is more new player friendly. Now this is an important topic because the more players that join your game, the more noobs you can smurf on. Now fortunately, both games are very new player friendly because you do not have to learn the abilities of 23 fucking different characters. And you don't have to learn 50 lineups for every fucking map. And you especially don't have to learn any weird ass fucking movement. And on that note, let's talk about the in-game weapons. The Valorant weapons seems to each have their own unique role, and every gun either have a unique playstyle or will give you a situational advantage. This is possible because Valorant does not have many guns in-game, and both teams in-game have access to the same weapons, which make the game more predictable and boring. Because everybody knows there's gonna be a fucking Sova ready to spam the shit out of you with an Odin from behind the wall on Ascent B site with his legal fucking wall hacks. Now speaking of wall hacks, let's talk about the counterstrike weapons, which are quite the opposite from the Valorant weapon. You see, for a normal human being to understand all the different weapons in Counter-Strike, they need a PhD in weaponry engineering and probably few different therapist appointments. Because until now, nobody can tell me why the fuck the M249 is worse than the Negev, which costs 3 times less, and why the delay on the revolver feels like I'm charging a fucking Kamehameha. But don't worry, because Counter-Strike, after copying Valorant buy menu and realizing they cannot add all the guns they have into the new buy menu, made the decision to not add any of the guns I mentioned and few others into the default menu at all. Because why the fuck should you assume that they have to make any fucking adjustments? And now every new player whose skin is spammed with a negate from behind a smoke will probably think the enemy teams are hacking. Then quickly remembers that nobody can cheat or install any fucking hacks in Counter-Strike at all. Now let's talk about content creators. Now for content creators, you should watch me and only me, because watching other content creators is haram and you'll burn in hell. You fucking heathens! Now let's talk about everyone's favorite category, the monetization and skin. This is the most talked about topic between the two games communities. Now other than the skins, there's also the Valorant Battle Pass and the Counter-Strike Prime Status and cases. I mean, there's also the Counter-Strike operations, but this shit drops once every fucking green moon, so I'm not gonna talk about it. Now the Valorant Battle Pass is the very generic battle pass you find in any other game, which make the game more unique and makes it stand out from all the other games. On the other side, Counter-Strike Prime Status, which costs $15, give you the privilege of playing ranked games with a fucking yo-yo who knows exactly where you are every single second in every single round. But nobody in the community seems to care or even give a fuck, because the real reason they are playing the game are not for the FPS tactical shooter. The actual reason is for the case opening minigame, which is called Credit Card Strike Gambling Offensive, because nothing will give you any more satisfaction than paying few $1,000s on cases just to get a $100 knife in-game, which costs probably more than a real one. Now for everyone's favorite topic, which are the skins. The Valorant skins have a fiction/sci-fi look into them, with the more premium ones having different animation, different sound effects, different finishers, and even a different color bullet tracers. And even though something like Valorant Newest Bundle costs almost $100 for 5 skins, and an additional $100 to unlock all the animation and all the variants, this is not the real problem that the community have with the skins. You see, the real problem is the Valorant skins are not realistic, because it makes completely fucking sense to have realistic guns in a game where characters can fly, revive the dead, see behind the wall, teleport, and even teleport themselves and others to another fucking different dimension. And it also makes completely fucking sense to pay $200 for 5 skins instead of buying 5 different other games. Now based on that, some people would assume my thoughts about the Counter-Strike skins. And if you just did, you're completely fucking right, and wrong at the same time. But firstly, let's talk about what makes the Counter-Strike skins unique. Because every skin in Counter-Strike have a different pattern with a different float, and every 2 of the same skin will almost always have a slight difference. And this is really important because if you have the same skin as your friend, one of you will be having the shittier skin. But you see, all the floats and all the patterns and all the skins in Counter-Strike can be explained really easily, because it always translates into a few different colorful pixels on the same fucking weapon. And there is no difference between all the different skins beside the color of the skin, which when you word it like that seems kinda racist. And the only redeeming factors about those colorful skins is that they can be sold on the Steam marketplace and other sketchy websites for real life money. They can also be traded or gifted to any other player. Wait, colorful things can be sold on the marketplace, can be traded? Wait, Is this fucking Pokemon? Now the Counter-Strike skin prices are based on supply and demand, which for some weird reason makes the price range from 3 cents to 1.5 million fucking dollars. Funnily enough, that's the same price as an entire fucking third world country. And most people who talks about the Counter-Strike skins seems to forget that normal people do not want to buy a knife skin which costs more than the PC that they are playing the game on.
$20 on a skin, and you lose the 20, huh? I buy a skin and it's going $50 knife, and I get 45 bucks back, 40 bucks back if I sell it.
And no, it doesn't make it any better that you can sell the skin, because most time you'll probably be losing a lot of money on this stupid ass investment. And I think most people would rather to invest in something that has better probability to give them more income than a game that its own community seems to be quitting one after the other. Before I give you the final answer, you should definitely subscribe, because not subscribing is cringe, and this is what not subscribed people look like.
Oh my, mommy, I need a heal.
Oh my god, you need a heal. Come here.
I'm coming.
In the end, if you ask me which game is shittier, I would say that I rather play Minesweeper for 10 fucking hours a day than to deal with any of both games bullshit. And if you think I have any mental problems or anything wrong with my head, I would like to tell you,
just let me be.